Cyrina Garcia. The campus I go to is CSU Dominguez, and I just recently graduated in spring class of 22. They're representative of their communities. So when you have organizers that are more in tune with their community, they can create better resources that meet the needs of the community better than someone who maybe doesn't understand what the community needs or is not actually enthralled in that community. A lot of the skills I learned, I feel like came from the speakers that we had visit us. We had some really great speakers, and a lot of the lessons that they left with us were that organizing is hard work. Organizing is not a quick and easy task that you can just kind of get under your belt. It's pretty hard work, and it does become rewarding at the end of the day, but it's going to take a lot of perseverance. And that's sort of what I've gathered from the speakers, is that it's not always going to be easy. You're not always going to have a payout. You're not always going to be able to create a union. You're not always going to be successful, but to keep going. And when you finally do see that payout, you know that it's all worth it. So that's something that I've definitely kept in mind. Like, whatever efforts I'm doing, know that they're not going to waste, and sort of keeping that mindset. Be prepared for the change in economy. I mean, we're seeing it right now already, but in the coming years, 10 to 20 years, what is the economy going to be like, and how are we going to combat that? If you look at our grandparents' generation, it was probably a lot easier for them to own a home, to start a family, to have a good job, to be a part of a union. Whereas today, there's 30-year-olds that are having roommates, and it's not crazy. They have good jobs, but it's just based off the economy. And so I feel like, sorry, I'm kind of tearing up. It's just crazy to think about the fact that like our grandparents were able to like get so much done at such a young age, and we're just not able to do the same things. And so we just need to keep striving for that, keep striving for our own rights, and be able to sort of know that we're worth it. I feel like a lot of times we get lowballed, or we feel like we don't deserve these certain expectations when it comes to work, school, housing. It's harder than it ever has been to like rent an apartment or own a home. So we just need to keep forging ahead, I would say. Organizing doesn't only benefit the workers that you're helping, or the whatever like a project you're working on. While it directly benefits those people, it benefits the entire community. One of our speakers made a really good point that somebody who is, maybe part of our community, but not necessarily in our tax bracket, may not see it as necessary to participate. Like, I've gone to school, I've done my due diligence, I'm in a different tax bracket. I don't need to worry about blue collar workers. That's not my business. But when you realize that it sort of trickles down, and their access to jobs and rights leads to your continuing access to jobs and rights, you realize that it's bigger than you, it's bigger than me, it's a community thing. So we need to all make sure that even if it's not directly affecting you, you need to know it's affecting you as a community, it's affecting you as a whole. I hope I can inspire others by keeping in mind that, like, when it comes to organizing, it doesn't always mean that you're going to be out in the field marching or passing out flyers or in someone's space or something like that. Because I kind of had that, like, I don't know if it's a stigma. I had that idea of what like community organizing means. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's a lot of behind the scenes work that can be done. And I didn't really see myself being able to contribute in the, face-to-face type of way. But there's so many other things you can do. There's so many skills that can be used. So a lot of people with different backgrounds, depending whatever major you went to school for or whatever skills you have from the workforce, can really be applied, like from personal experience all the way to communications or public relations. It's a lot you can do to help out. So it doesn't always mean, at the forefront. So